the top here. But Ross today is brought to us by Supply House. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting on projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Join the free Trademaster program today and score some serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHNFL5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. With that, we are thrilled to welcome in Ross Tucker to the show. And Ross, I got to ask, you were on a month ago, and we looked at the Browns' upcoming schedule, and you said, they're not going to lose for a month, guys.
I don't think he said that. I think he said
I went back and listened to the
clip. They have a chance to not lose. Okay. Go ahead. Ross, defend yourself.
The Browns are so much worse than even you could have given us credit for. We suck.
Hey, Mike. There's no chance I said they're not going to lose for a month.
I'll show you the clip. I swear.
Okay? I might have said they might not lose for a month. I might have said there's a chance they don't lose for a month. And I believed that. And it didn't work out that way. No. Shout out to you, Mike, for knowing they would give up a kickoff return and punt return for a touchdown in the first quarter. You could have let me know that. I would have made a lot of money. I wouldn't even have to do this show if you would tell me that something like that's going to happen. I could bet a ton of money and never talk to any of you guys again. I mean, by the way, 2 weeks ago, you guys, everybody, I guess in the chat was eviscerating me. So can we? If I just say right now, they should fire everybody and put Shedeur in. Is the segment over?
You're cold.
Can I say later?
They love you.
They were crazy. Fire everybody. Fire everybody. Put Shedeur in. Segment over. Thank you guys. Okay,
you will be loved.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, right. Ross, here's the real solution. I wanted to know your thoughts
You're the best,
on this.
Ross.
This is what we need to do. All right? I am serious about this. We need to have this happen. We need to take the Bengals and the Browns. We need to combine them into one team. Have them play in Columbus or Toledo, wherever you want to put them. Let's go. We'll take the Bengals offense. We'll take the Browns defense, a couple of sprinkles from the other side. Let's make one team, because you take the Bengals offense and the Browns defense, I think we got a Super Bowl contender, Ross. Would that team be the best team in football with a healthy Joe Burrow?
Oh, with a healthy Joe Burrow, yeah, they would be. Yes, they would be.
Let's go.
The Columbus Bro-Gals.
Bro-Gals. That's crazy. That's the Bro-Gals.
The Bro-Gals.
That would be a hell of a team.
It's funny, though. I will say this. So a couple things, right?
Yeah.
I am not allowed to divulge assignments until, CBS does. But there's a good chance over the next month or so you guys might be seeing me on your TV. So I'll just you can file that under somewhere. And then I will say I've been listening to the show, and I think what you guys said about Nathan Zagora is interesting, because that was my feeling watching that game against the Jets. And the way it ended in particular, this was not like, okay, tough loss for the Browns against a pretty good opponent. That it could have gone either way. We get it. Maybe they're not as talented. This was a really, really bad loss. I mean, first of all, to give up 2 special teams touchdowns, obviously they win the game if that doesn't happen, but that it did happen. This is a game when you're playing an inferior opponent who just traded away their 2 best players.
Yep.
You have to win that game. That's a game that the Browns really needed to win. They weren't able to do so, but it's the manner in which they lost. The 2 special teams touchdowns. Then, I guess I've kind of been a Dillon Gabriel defender, and I still don't think he played as badly as everybody else seems to think he did. But he kind of lost me a little bit, or at least frustrated me. He took sacks on 4th down twice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bad sacks.
What, like stuff like that. So for me, I'm not a Browns fan, whatever, to look at this team, okay, and to see a team that 2 special teams touchdowns, The quarterback takes 2 sacks on 4th down.
Crazy.
Devin Bush gets a holding penalty.
Man.
They weren't going to throw the ball there.
No.
Unless
No
the
chance.
guy was wide open, they were not going to throw it. Fields tucks it away, but they get the free 1st down because Devin Bush, the holding penalty. And then the Cam Thomas offsides is just like, so if you are, and you guys know I guess a Stefanski supporter and Andrew Barry supporter. And by that, I just mean I'm not as harsh on those guys as I feel like you guys are. But remember, I'm not a Browns fan, right? So I know what it's like because I'm from near Philly. I'm on the text thread for all my Eagles friends. The Eagles beat the Packers Monday night, and all of the texts were how much of an idiot Sirianni was for going for it. Like, so I get that you're more passionate with fandom. I get all that. But I would just say I thought Sunday was a really bad look for a lot of people, for the Browns organization. For Gabriel to take sacks like that, but the coaching miscues on special teams, to have Cam Thomas do that, and I know that they're not over there saying, hey, Cam Thomas, jump. I know they're not saying, Cam, go in there and go offside. I know that. But there's something off there. Like, there's something off there where there's not some call or something where those guys don't move. So I would tend to be with Zagora, where I felt like the Jets' loss was more than just one loss. Now, what that means towards the end of the year is stupid to say now because there's still a lot more games left. But I do think that, you know, if you're putting the ledger up, you know, in favor of them keeping their jobs or losing their jobs, that was a brutal one for a lot of people.
Ross, I'm concerned as we talk about that loss. I called it a gut punch with a delayed reaction because when you lose that game in that manner and then you come back and you got a Baltimore Ravens team who is back loaded, back ready to go, back ready to try to get back into the playoffs, and you play a team like that at home, it looks like it's going to be some empty seats in the stadium. In the locker room, how do you guard against guys having a delayed reaction when some adversity hits you in the Baltimore Ravens game where guys, as Jay said, just let go of the rope? Defense may say, hey, listen, guys, we're checking out a little bit.
Well, so I'll tell you something that's interesting because you referenced empty seats. That is the number one thing that causes action among owners. Number one, apathy and empty seats, way worse than rage. Now, the thing is Browns fans, Google it, okay? I've said for years, I think you can make a strong argument that the Browns have the best fans in the NFL because the loyalty and how diehard you guys have been with almost nothing in return over the last 25 years, whatever it is, one playoff win. I mean, you guys know more than me.
Yeah.
I am so impressed. But that's the thing. As long as you're still all fed up and you're calling shows and you're on social media, you still care, you're still invested. It's when the local TV ratings go down. It's when there's empty seats. That, more than anything else, is when ownership usually takes action, in my mind. As for the Ravens game, look, I was there last year when they beat the Ravens at home. So for whatever reason, it feels like they play the Ravens really well when they are at home. I think the Browns will come out and put forth a pretty good performance. I don't think it'll be enough, but I think they'll at least come out and put forth a credible performance in front of the home crowd.
Ross, do you know the last time that the Browns, do you happen to know the last time the Browns won the division?
They didn't do it the Derek Anderson year. They didn't do it Kelly Holcomb. They didn't do it Baker.
Nope.
95, 96?
Not far off. You were 10 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1989.
Bernie Kosar, our good friend Bernie Kosar, is the last quarterback.
I loved those teams, and this will sound weird because I'm not from Cleveland. That hurt those back-to-back AFC Championship games.
dude.
Like that. I mean, the Ernest Biner fumble, like that hurt. And ironically, my rookie year, 2001, Marty Schottenheimer was my coach, and I love that dude, by the way.
Yeah.
I had Gibbs, Parcells, Belichick,
Oh my
Wow.
and I would still tell you Marty was the best coach I ever had. Out of all those
Really?
guys,
Wow.
I thought Marty was more impressive. To me,
Why?
I mean, and I know he doesn't have the same resume as those guys have,
Sure.
but I'm just saying as a player sitting there watching them, how they go about being a head coach, I think Marty Schottenheimer was more impressive. Maybe I was just a wide-eyed rookie. I don't know. But more impressive to me than Parcells, Belichick, and Gibbs.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but you know what? I know he lacked the Super Bowls, but man, his teams were always in the playoffs. They were always very good teams. His time here, oddly enough, ended because he refused to hire an offensive coordinator, and they ran him out, and that was the end of it. It was the last time they won the division.
Yeah,
it's
which
really
is
hard
just-
to believe.
yeah.
Ross, I know that sometimes we are too quick in this business to say, yeah, he's got to go. I love your 30,000-foot view because, as you say, you're not a fan, but you're an observer and you see everything. Is there a world where both Stefanski and Andrew Berry survive this season and are both back next year?
You know, I think that they would have to really pick it up down the stretch here.
Yeah.
The fascinating aspect of that, though, is you don't make the trade that they made with the Jaguars if you don't think that you're going to have 2026.
Right.
Now, it seems to me like because of that trade, perhaps Andrew Berry would be more likely to stay, and that Stefanski not being able to get this team to perform better, not being able to win more of these games, not, being – and look, nobody thought they were winning double-digit games this year, right?
Yeah.
But they've had their chances in some of these games, the Bengals game, the Vikings game, the Jets game. They've had their chances. So I think someone could fairly look at it and say, Kevin had a good run here for a few years, but this is now back-to-back years where he's not maximizing what we have. And I think in particular you point to like what happened in the Jets game with the Gabriel sacks, the Cam Thomas false start. That's not on Andrew Berry. That is more on the coaching staff. So I think that's a possibility. But like I said, there's still a bunch of games left to be played. They do have a chance to turn it around. They have one last card to play, which they're going to play at some point with Shedeur Sanders. I don't know when that's going to be, but they're going to play that card at some point. And I know you guys are all clamoring for it. Maybe it'll be the game I do. Maybe that would be that. Hey, that's when they should. If they want I need the ratings. Okay, start Shedeur. I can't even tell you guys what game it is yet, but start Shedeur in the game I'm calling. That would be awesome. Then a lot of people would be. Although you know what, I will say this because I did last year, guys. I did Colorado State. It is the craziest thing I've ever experienced as a broadcaster. If you say anything positive about Shedeur Sanders, there's like an army. I don't know if they're bots or what, but there's like an army of people on social media that will just kill you and say, stop kissing up to him. He's not good, blah, 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 blah. Conversely, if you say anything even a little bit critical, there's an even bigger army of bots that comes out of the woodwork.
Yeah, it's
just
nuts.
say, how dare you say that? How can you say that? It's like, you guys, I don't know if there's a way to do this, but you should go check out my social media mentions when I did Colorado State last year. I mean, depending on what I said and depending on the quarter, it's people just killing me from either side. At no point did anybody say I was doing a good job. If I was saying good Shedeur, it's like, bad Shedeur, it's like, so maybe I don't want him to start the
Ross,
next
it
round.
reminds me of Tim Tebow.
Oh yeah.
Any comparisons there?
It's Tebow. It's like a Kaepernick Tebow. Like it's as polarizing as I've ever seen
Yeah.
And I think, here's what I think is weird. Tebow kind of had, the religious thing. Kaepernick had obviously the cause that he stood up for. It seems like it happens when it's more than football. I'm not really sure why with Shedeur it's more than football. I think obviously his dad has a lot to do with it. Listen, I still remember, guys, I'm not kidding you. My grandfather, okay, who played in the leather helmet days, like God bless his heart, he hated Dillon Sanders so much that in 2004, I was starting at center for the Bills against the Ravens. And this is when Dillon came back and was playing for the Ravens. He offered me $10,000 to take out Dillon in the game. My grandpa, okay? I was 25, he's 85, okay? He doesn't even know what a bounty is. He doesn't care, but he hated how much of a showboat Dillon was that much. So I think that's where some of it comes from, is that people either loved or hated Dillon, and so now you're on that side, one side or the other, and you take it all out on Colorado football and on his son.
Hey, Ross, I apologize in advance if I'm wrong. I remember reading an article last year that there was a broadcaster that was supposed to interview Shedeur, and I think he stood him up.
It was me.
I thought it was you, and that's why I hesitated to bring it up. For those that haven't heard that story, when I read it with kind of shock and bemusement that this actually happened, but remind myself and our viewers.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I wouldn't describe it as he stood us up.
Right.
I would describe it as, it was an important game for me. So I actually, even though Thursday night football I was doing on the radio, I flew out to Denver on Wednesday to go to Colorado's practice because I wanted to, talk with them. They actually told me Travis Hunter doesn't do a lot of media, but Shedeur will talk with you. Okay, great. And then, so I'm ready for Shedeur, and they say, well, Shedeur got hurt against Nebraska. He has to get treatment. He can't talk to you. Now, I think this is a really important aspect of the story, Jay. They say, who else do you want to talk to? I say, how about Jimmy Horn Jr.? They're like, okay, just in case. Anybody else? I was like, okay, Hank Zielinskis, the starting center. I don't know. So they're walking off the field, and now I know I'm not going to talk to Shedeur. The SID goes up to Jimmy Horn Jr., who plays for the Panthers now, points at me. Jimmy Horn Jr. goes, no, and keeps walking.
Wow.
I'm doing the game on CBS. So I wanted to establish the precedent that, like, the players kind of did what they wanted there, right? This was not just like a Shedeur thing or anything. Like, the players did what they wanted. I was told, well, he'll talk to you Friday night. Okay. We do the production meetings. Shedeur does not come to the production meeting. Instead, it's LeJohntay Wester. They didn't give us a reason why it was a rookie. It was a receiver and not Shedeur. The only thing I thought was really weird about it is we're leaving, and there's a pickup truck right out front of the hotel,
this is what I remember.
And Shedeur was just sitting in the back of the pickup truck. And I actually regret. I might even ask him if he is playing in that game. I do. I guess regret not going up to him, introducing myself. Hey, Shedeur, Ross Tucker, nice to meet you. I'm doing the game on CBS. And just saying, like, just out of curiosity, like, why did you not want to do the meeting? And maybe the answer is just because with all the attention they got, all the commercials, all the media, maybe he just didn't, like, maybe he didn't know that you're supposed to do production meetings and just didn't feel like doing it. And so I didn't, like, it didn't affect how I called the game. But my point about that, Jay, was that stories like that get out,
Yeah.
And then the pre-draft process went the way it went for him. Those things start to stack, right? Like, skips a production meeting, then the combine meetings. Those things stack on top of each other, and people talk. And because I had at least 5 NFL GMs in the weeks after say, hey, what'd you think of Hunter? What'd you think of Shedeur? And like, what's Shedeur like as a game? Like, well, I didn't get to talk to him. And then they're like, yeah, we've heard that stuff. So all that stuff counts.
It all adds up. Hey, we've
Thanks,
got
Ross.
a hard 12-20 out. Ross, as
Appreciate it.
always, I don't hold it against you that you said the Browns were going to go a month without losing. Hell, if they don't give up those kickoff returns, everything's different. They're 2-0 since you made that prediction. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Shove it, Mike.
Yeah.
Ross, we'll see you in Cleveland soon, man. Can't
See
wait
you,
to be in the
brother.
studio. Thanks again,
See you
Ross.
guys.
Why did we have a hard